Tammy Chamberlain lives in the Savannah Bluff area. She pulls her mother in a small boat to their home, which is now badly damaged.
We have, cracks in our roof, leaks in our roof. We have mold downstairs from the last flood that we haven't gotten rid of. And now with the stagnant water, we're still going to have its breeding grounds for more mold.
Zach Sebald pulls the carpet out of his flooded home, loads it into his truck, and prepares to take the first look at his neighborhood since it flooded.
Like I said, growing up in this neighborhood, it's very odd to see it like this. Because, just kind of like driving down the street or whatever, riding the four-wheeler and whatnot. And then to see everything underwater and, having people that we know's lives affected, our own lives affected, it's a shame.
And the Waccamaw is expected to stay in major flood stage most of the week.
I'm sure for a lot of us, it's not going to be a normal life for a couple months here.
Sebald doesn't have flood insurance because he says he's not in a flood zone.
Just kind of goes to show, even if you aren't in a flood zone, you still got to take precautions and make sure everything is going the right way and smooth.
Some did take precautions, but
we're not covered.
And she just moved in 4 months ago.
We just finished laying hardwood by ourselves. We just finished painting all the rooms.
The water is now up to her knees, but as Sebald says, it could always be worse.
I don't know, I feel bad for what we're going through, but I feel bad for all these families back here and other families across the world that have been affected by it, because we still have the opportunity to get our stuff and get it in a safe place, whereas people here, or even people in other parts of the world that were affected by it, didn't really have time to do that. So.
February is Teen Dating Awareness Month. In recognition, CASDA is working actively with the students at Superior High School. A survey revealed that 18% of the respondents had been victims of abuse. That number is double the national average. Superior High students disclose details of traumatic events they experienced with family, friends, and even in their personal lives.
She went out with some of her friends and didn't tell him. He got mad, they got in a fight, he started hitting her.
I have a friend that got pulled off her radiator. Her boyfriend pushed her into it, and then he pulled her off of it and almost broke her knee and busted her rib.
And I've been in that situation before when it's not like good relationships, and I had to get away from that.
Many students say they've experienced stress and guilt from not knowing how to help their loved ones.
I just felt like I should have been there to stick up for her.
While most teens are optimistic about their relationships,
And I don't think I have to worry about anything. I think me and my boyfriend will be together for a long time.
the inexperienced dater is often unable to recognize warning signs. Students were given a "Is your relationship healthy?" test to assess their partners and themselves. Some were surprised at the results.
Apparently answering yes to her being angry one minute, having mood swings is bad on me.
Many students took pledges to maintain a healthy dating lifestyle.
Make a declaration about a healthy relationship, what they think is important, and then write it on their sleeve for everybody to know what they think is really important.
It's called the Wear Your Heart on Your Sleeve campaign. Students flock to CASDA's booth to sign up.
You need to have some more support through it, and that's what CASDA is going to give, is more support.
Meet Savannah native Brian Reese. He was born at St. Joseph's Hospital along with his identical twin brother.
I look a little bit better than him. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia.
Reese, who is married with 2 children, is hoping to replace outgoing Republican Congressman Jack Kingston. But Reese must first defeat Republican Buddy Carter in November. Buddy Carter is giving up his state Senate seat to run for Georgia's 1st congressional district. He grew up in Port Wentworth and was the first in his family to go to college. Carter says he has lived the American dream.
And that's the same thing that I want my children to be able to, my 3 sons and my granddaughters.
So where do the candidates stand on the issues, starting with the economy?
Nothing's more important than building the economy and growing the middle class. Nothing is. And we cannot afford for people not to put that on the first agenda of things we need to do in Washington.
First tonight at 6, Coastal Carolina University says it's working to improve pedestrian safety after a student was hit and killed Saturday on Highway 544.
As News 13's Gabrielle Ware reports, the president of CCU will create a 544 safety committee.
That's right. Coastal Carolina's president will send an invitation to a group of people he wants to join that committee, and they plan to meet as soon as this week. One idea is a pedestrian walkway that would go over 544. That idea has been brought up in the past, but it hasn't moved forward. A pedestrian bridge would allow students to cross from one side of 544 to the other without having to use the usually busy street. Officials say the next step in this process would be conducting a feasibility study, but it's expensive.
There's been some folks working to identify maybe federal grant money to be able to do that type of study.
The victim was trying to get to the Monarch apartment complex when he was killed. Today along Highway 544, you'll see a heavy police presence in front of that apartment complex. You'll also notice a lot of traffic.
It's always going to be an issue, especially around like a college campus. Definitely at night, it's something to watch for.
But coastal officials say they've done a lot over the past 5 years to make the school a more pedestrian-friendly place. They've added crosswalks with timers to several locations, including 544 and Founders Drive, close to where Ryan Balawa was killed. Connor says he was a bright student with a bright future.
He was active in the Student Finance Club and active in a couple other clubs on campus. My understanding is that he, this semester, has started working at a local Merrill Lynch office.
The school also offered counseling services to students after the accident took place.